All right, so this is the AZ-104 prerequisites for Azure administrators, and this comes so this is from Microsoft Learn, and uh, I would highly recommend going through this because this is it's going to cover the basics for all the modules. Obviously we need to practice, but it's going to give you a foundation, right? And this channel is basically us going through this together, right? Again, I've not taken this exam before. I mean, I have taken other certifications, most recently MS 700, uh, but so this would give us an opportunity to go through this together, and as if um, like you have a learning partner, or you're in a study group. Uh, so with that said, let's get started, right? So we're starting with AZ-104 prerequisites. The link to this would be in the description. So you'll have to sign in with uh, your Microsoft account. It could be a work account, um, whatever you're using. And the good thing is that you have like a point-based system, so you could as you progress through the modules to the lessons and exercises, you can see your points accumulating, and that's a good way to see or track progress, right? So we are starting with AZ 104 prerequisites, um, and this is module. Um, so this is a module about configuring Azure resources with tools. Okay, so uh, let's take a look at the introduction. All right, so the introduction. So this basically is there are different ways where one could manage Azure. You could use the Azure portal, or the PowerShell, the Cloud Shell, or the CLI, and we will look we would be looking at what each one of them means, and what it does, right? So um, there's no prerequisites for this, and they often are used to complete tasks like deploying dozens or hundreds of resources at a time, configuring individual services using scripts, viewing rich reports across usage, health, cost, and more. Right? So you have many reports in Azure, like right from billing, right, and the resources. So you get an administrator would often um, perform the following tasks, right? So let's move along. All right, so this is the Azure portal, and this is a screenshot from the Azure portal, um, and as you can see, it's used to build, manage, and monitor everything from web apps to simple web apps to cloud applications. Um, you can search for resources. You can see the search bar on the top here, and then you can manage resources, create customized resources. Or dashboards, access the cloud shell, receive notifications, links, uh, and you can access the portal over here, right? So I believe you can sign up for a demo, a test account, and play along with it. Um, so all right, so that is the um, basics for the Azure portal. And let's move to the Cloud Shell. So the Cloud Shell is is a browser based. As you can see, it's cloud, right? So it's browser based, and then you have, as you can see in the screenshot, you have two options. So one is PowerShell, um, which is um, catered towards Windows users, and Bash is um, for Linux users, right? So you can choose whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with, and um, and these are the features um, pertaining to a Cloud Shell. So, all right. So just to look at a few, you can see times are up to 20 minutes. Requires a resource group, a storage account, and then Azure file share. Use the same Azure file share for both Bash and PowerShell. It's temporary and requires a new existing Azure file share to be mounted. So you can see a recurring theme here. It's talking about file shares, authenticates automatically for instant access to your resources, um, is assigned to one machine per user account. Permissions are set as a regular Linux user in Bash, persist home using 5 gig. So this is, I mean, the purpose of this is just to give you an idea of what a Cloud Shell is, how it looks like, right? So we'll obviously go into details later on, but it's just to give you an overview, so to speak. So in the next video, we'll move on to Azure the PowerShell, right? So until then, see you next time.